I do not know. But I will find out.
You must. Otherwise, how can we make sure it never happens to us?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're looking at 20 of the most crucial historical details that Bridgerton botched, but also that it got correct. This is your spoiler warning for all 4 seasons and for Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story.
About whom are you speaking? My new lady's maid is extraordinary.
Sophie is my lady's maid as well.
That is quite an unusual education for a lady's maid, is it not?
Number 20. Makeup and nails. Wrong. While we'll be talking more about the costumes later, for this entry, we're specifically looking at Season 3's liberal use of cosmetics, which was significantly more egregious than the previous 2.
She spends my fortune before I can claim it. That is her intention.
If she was to wear such a melancholy colour, that's her prerogative.
Viewers found themselves jarred over and over again by the Ton's newfound love of false eyelashes, lipstick, and acrylic nails, particularly in the case of Penelope. Makeup was actually extremely subtle in the Regency era, in stark contrast to the earlier Georgian decades when people would slather their faces with white lead paint.
You do not much like attracting notice, do you?
Not really. No.
Perhaps that does make you rare. Seems as though every Bridgerton was born to attract notice, in one way or another.
But the early 19th century preferred a subtler, natural look, so it's no surprise that people didn't like all of Bridgerton's women now having Instagram face.
Miss Featherington.
My lords, are you enjoying your evening?
Are you in search of a new prospect to help you find a husband?
Number 19. Vegetarianism. Right.
You must have done something truly heinous. I've foregone eating the flesh of dead animals, and they barely tolerate me for that great sin.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that Lord Debling's unconventional vegetarianism is another piece of modernity shoved into the show to make him relatable to modern audiences, but that's not the case.
Well done.
For being a fool?
For stepping away from the herd. Even though you risk becoming a target. Just like him.
Vegetarianism has been a lifestyle choice since ancient Greece, but it gained new popularity during the Renaissance and was already an established choice by the time of the Regency. People would have thought Debling was strange and eccentric to be vegetarian, and they do indeed also think this in the show.
You do not seem to care for nature. Or for animals. Both of which are apparently his great passion.
I care very dearly for animals. I love a good fur.
Oh, I would not tell him that.
I do not trouble me with the details.
Many people think Debling is odd for his disdain of animal products, and are skeptical of Penelope briefly entertaining him as a possible suitor. Number 18. Wedding cakes. Wrong.
Every detail simply takes one's breath away, and
While I quite enjoy the adulation, Lady Bridgerton,
In a show devoted to love and romance, it makes sense that we get to see plenty of elaborate wedding cakes. There's a particularly impressive one at Antony and Edwina's wedding gone wrong in Season 2.
But I imagine it to be something both animated and satisfying.
But just when were wedding cakes invented? Well, a bride's pie, and later bride's cake, had existed since the 16th century, and tiered cakes were already popular. But these lavish ones covered in white icing were extremely rare and expensive until they were popularized by Queen Victoria for her wedding in 1840.
Appears we better now have a piece of cake.
They certainly could have afforded a cake like that, but the cakes in Bridgerton are extremely modern looking and just not representative of actual brides' cakes of the time. Number 17. The Earldom of Kilmartin. Right. Fans were shocked when the Season 3 finale revealed that rather than Michael Sterling, we were getting Michaela, with some pointing out that the plot of When He Was Wicked will no longer work, since Michaela can't eventually inherit the title.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce...
Michaela Sterling. I caution you. Every sordid detail John has spoken about me is a lie. The truth is power.
But would you believe that actually she can? The Earldom of Kilmartin has the crucial distinction of being a Scottish title rather than an English one, which means that women are able to inherit the full titles.
And you must be?
I'm Francesca Bridgerton Kilmartin.
Presumably, this means that Francesca season will have 2 Countesses of Kilmartin at once. There are even a few English titles that allow a woman to inherit, though only if the title is created with a special remainder that makes that possible, which most aren't.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Number 16. Ladies' maids. Right.
It seems that the dismissal of a single housemaid from Penwood House some months ago has invited disorder even this author could not have anticipated.
While Benedict is away in my cottage, a new scandal hits the ton, the Maid Wars, taking place entirely through Lady Whistledown's epigraphs in the book. In the show, we get to see the aristocracy battling over their servants, particularly their ladies' maids.
And where better to find new maids than amongst the well-trained staff of neighbors and friends?
A good lady's maid was just as coveted in real life as it is in Bridgerton, and poaching somebody else's maid, who will generally have been trained up from a young age to serve only one person, really would have been enormously scandalous.
We almost had to cancel when Lady Hamilton poached our footman. I in turn had to poach the footman from our neighbour's estate, just to carry out the heavier furnishing.
I hear it has been mayhem.
Lady Gunn stealing other people's servants by sending them letters offering to overpay them gets her ostracized from society in Bridgerton, and the same would have happened in reality.
We did plan this so long ago. The invitations went out before you stole my coachman.
Who was a wonder finding the place, by the way. He is quite clever, is he not?
Number 15. Princess Charlotte of Wales. Wrong.
Your Majesty, I am sorry to disturb you at this hour with such news.
Another nitpick about titles, Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, got more than a few things wrong about the heir to the throne in 1817.
Doctor, if the king is not dead, who is?
Princess Charlotte of Wales, whose death sparks a constitutional crisis we'll get to in a moment, is incorrectly referred to in the show as the Princess Royal. But Charlotte, Princess Royal, was a completely different woman, the eldest daughter of Queen Charlotte and King George III.
This coldest time of year has become that much colder with the sad news of the death of the Princess Royal.
Princess Royal is a title always reserved for the eldest daughter of a sovereign. Princess Charlotte of Wales was the eldest daughter of King George IV, but he was not king at the time. It's understandably confusing when they're all named Charlotte, though.
The granddaughter of our dear King George III and Queen Charlotte died in childbirth along with her baby.
Number 14. The Succession Crisis. Right.
Hello, my children.
We're still talking about Princess Charlotte of Wales, whose death really did lead to a succession crisis, even if they got her identity slightly wrong. While George III and Queen Charlotte had 15 children, none produced any legitimate heirs aside from Charlotte, who died tragically young.
My word, there are impressionable ladies present.
Impressionable? Trust me, Edward, no sexual innuendo makes an impression upon your sisters. I wish it did, that they might get ideas to marry and start fornicating.
The Queen Charlotte spin-off partially follows the Queen's attempts to encourage her children to produce another heir, with Princes William and Edward both marrying in 1818.
I believe I am a married woman.
Yes. And where are your babies? You have made 0 heirs to the throne.
I am trying.
Are you?
Only one, Edward, had a child, a daughter named Alexandrina. Upon taking the throne in 1837, she chose the regnal name Victoria and became Britain's longest reigning monarch, taking a record previously held by George III, which she eventually lost to Elizabeth II. Number 13. The Balloon. Wrong.
1, 2, 3,
No Bridgerton scene is more infamous than the hot air balloon disaster. While it's very true that hot air balloons were still flashy new technology at the time, with Western iterations developed by the French in the 1780s, the immediate threat to life by a rogue balloon is blown massively out of proportion.
Help me!
The show wants us to believe that Penelope is in grave danger when the balloon careens towards her, leading to Lord Debling's heroic rescue. But in actuality, she'd probably have just gotten a few bumps and bruises from being knocked over by a wicker basket.
Miss Featherington!
Interestingly, only 2 people had ever died in a balloon accident by the Regency period, when one caught fire and fell into the English Channel in 1785.
Well done, Bridgerton.
Number 12. Marina's attempt to end her pregnancy. Right.
You haven't bled. It's been over a month since your arrival,
And you haven't bled?
Trying to prevent a pregnancy and birth in Regency England was no mean feat. While a handful of contraceptive methods existed, including deeply unpleasant, reusable condoms made of animal guts, nothing was as reliable as modern interventions.
Do you even know who the father is? What I know is that you shall never understand. What was that? You shall never understand!
The same goes for ending a pregnancy, which could be deadly for the mother. Season 1 addresses this head-on with a subplot about Marina Thompson, where she drinks an elixir made with a toxic plant and attempts to induce a miscarriage. This is all very accurate, with one herb, pennyroyal, being used for this purpose. But suffice it to say that it can have potentially lethal side effects, and like in the show, isn't a guaranteed way to achieve this particular goal.
Marina! 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 Mama! Mama, make haste!
Number 11. Royal addresses. Wrong. Perhaps this seems minor, but if you know anything about the royals, it certainly will have jarred you. Early in Season 4, when Queen Charlotte makes her grand entrance at Lady Bridgerton's masquerade, she's introduced as Her Royal Highness.
Her Royal Highness, the Queen!
Later in the same episode, she's instead called Her Majesty. You don't have to be an expert to know that only Her Majesty is correct. Royal Highness is an inferior title, with Majesty reserved only for the King and Queen, or exclusively for the Queen, if there's no king.
Your Majesty.
Another bizarre royal mix-up happens in this episode too, when Alice Mondrich refers to a fictional Queen Margaret as the queen known for ordering beheadings. In actuality, Elizabeth I was known for that.
Perhaps Queen Margaret, the one who set off with his head.
Number 10. Mad King George. Right. These days, most people know King George III as the lovable tyrant from Hamilton.
When you're gone, I'll go mad. So don't throw away this thing we have. 'Cause when push comes to shove, I will kill your friends and family.
Historically speaking, he really did go mad, but it wasn't from a bad colonial breakup. Throughout his adult life, George struggled with fits of mania and delusions, causing him to periodically withdraw from public life.
Your subjects miss you, my dear. I miss you.
I'm right here, Lottie.
However, it was the loss of his favorite child, Princess Amelia in 1810, that seems to have sent him over the edge.
What have you done? What has this woman done to my child? Majesty? No, what have you done? What have you done? No, you come back here. She has killed my child.
Deemed insane, George spent the last 9 years of his life in seclusion, while others took up the reins of power. Not his Queen Charlotte, though. She may be head royal in charge on Bridgerton, but in real life, their son George stepped in as regent, giving the Regency era its name. Number 9. Simon's end of the line vow. Wrong. Rebellion pretty much goes hand in hand with daddy issues, but Bridgerton's Simon Bassett takes things to a whole new level.
I will never marry. I will never sire an heir. The Hastings line will die with me.
His vow to end his family line and destroy his toxic father's prized legacy is intense. It's also highly unlikely from a historical standpoint. There was nothing more important to a man than being able to secure his family's property and titles with an heir. Actively choosing not to would have been unheard of.
We have been granted this line. The monarchy itself has declared it. But it will only remain ours so long as we remain extraordinary.
Besides which, the value traditionally placed on masculine virility and the humiliation associated with impotence shouldn't be underestimated. It strikes us as doubtful that someone as accomplished as Simon would have so little concern for his social reputation as a man.
It is furthest from my intentions to offend you, but surely you can understand that family must come before all else.
Number 8. Women earned their own money. Right. Women may not have had much in the way of legal rights in the Regency era, but they weren't completely helpless either. In Bridgerton, we see this in characters like Genevieve Delacroix and Sienna Rosso, independent, unmarried women supporting themselves.
Would you prefer to sit around simpering over your needlework or whatsoever it is these debutantes must do to pass the time? You and I make our own way in the world.
That we do.
And that's not incorrect. Marriage was considered the ultimate achievement for a woman, but plenty still established themselves in other occupations. Education was a common field, as was domestic work. Modiste Genevieve represents the many women who were employed as dressmakers or in related trades.
This is beautiful work.
For Lady Cowper's girl. Not that it will help her get an offer. Not even my finest silks will compensate for that sneer.
As an opera singer, Sienna would have been more unusual, not unlike those women who, like Jane Austen, were able to live by their pens.
You can be sure she is not stuck simpering on the edge of a ballroom every night, praying a man might take a fancy and leg shackle her to marriage.
Women have always done just fine for themselves. Number 7. Regency Decadence. Right. Thanks to a million Pride and Prejudice adaptations, our image of the Regency tends to be a very prim one.
Is that how the tune goes?
It's a bloody love song, I think.
Happy to hear you're embracing the genre.
Bridgerton, on the other hand, gives us a brief glimpse of the raunchy atmosphere that was thriving behind some closed doors.
I see my reputation precedes me.
Not exactly a virtue.
Well, anything that gets me your attention is a good thing, I rather think.
Between a sexual revolution in the 18th century and a prince regent who was all about having a good time, Regency Britain boasted a rollicking underground social scene, similar to what we see at Henry Granville's house. The society ballrooms of the era might have been all white gloves and perfect manners, but after hours there was a lot more sex, drugs, and rock and roll attitude than we ever would have thought. Number 6. The importance of the London season and the marriage market. Right. If Bridgerton gets one thing completely right, it's the historical significance of the London season.
For every darling debutante from Park Lane to Regent Street will be on display.
For 6 months every year, the wealthy would descend on the city for an endless series of social gatherings designed to encourage mingling. Mingling of the young and unmarried members of society, that is. The season's most important function was as a marriage market, where individuals shopped for a partner who could either strengthen or improve their social standing.
Now, Mr. Worthington's second son we shall find better. He is of dubious parentage. We shall not have you making love with a poet, heaven forbid, nor an eccentric. My word.
It was an especially crucial period for eligible bachelorettes. While men could take their time selecting a spouse, a lady who finished her debutante season without a husband was viewed as a failure.
Tonight we shall discover which young ladies might succeed at securing a match, thereby avoiding the dreadful, dismal condition known as the spinster.
Bridgerton does an excellent job of depicting the scramble to land a man. Number 5. A lady's virtue is everything. Right. Okay, but surely it's overreacting to shoot a guy because he took a walk alone with your sister? Not in the Regency, it wasn't.
For what it is worth, I am sorry.
Your apology is worth nothing to me.
There's a reason that unmarried ladies were supposed to keep a chaperone nearby at all times. A woman caught alone with a man could only save her reputation if he married her.
Simon, we were seen. Cressida Cowper witnessed us in the garden. She knows.
It is not merely your own life that hangs in the balance now. If you do not marry me, I shall be ruined.
Otherwise, she was left open to speculation about what exactly had occurred away from prying eyes. With her virginity in doubt, her marriage prospects would collapse.
For if I'd already known she was loose and damaged, not intact,
Stop talking.
We're not saying it's fair, especially when Regency guys were expected to be men of the world. It's also not how we would have preferred Simon to marry Daphne, but we guess it'll have to do. Number 4. The costumes, right and wrong. Bridgerton is a fantasy version of Regency England, and that is perfectly encapsulated in the thousands of eye-catching outfits created for the series. Most of the silhouettes are accurate to the period, but costume designer Ellen Mirojnick took deliberate artistic license using anachronistic colors, patterns, and embellishments to create looks that feel fresh to the modern viewer.
We've made it more luxurious and more sumptuous, and we've introduced a modern color palette, but really trying to stick to the basic foundation of the 1813 silhouette.
Inaccuracies also feature in the creative hairstyling and in the sheer amount of clothing that each character seems to have access to.
Every single shot that you see her in, she's in something different. So that drove a kind of character choice as well about the gaudiness of the society.
And we have to talk about corsets, which were never the cruel torture devices we've been led to believe.
Tighter! Is she to breathe, Mama? I was able to squeeze my waist into the size of an orange and a half when I was Prudence's age. Your sister shall do the same.
Fashions of the Regency emphasized the bust, not the waist, meaning there was no need to cinch anyone down to the size of a fruit. Number 3. The sexual cluelessness of the debutantes. Right. Daphne, Penelope, and Eloise all seem a little oblivious when it comes to certain facts of life.
How did she become a child if she's not married?
I do not know. I will find out.
You must. Otherwise, how can we make sure it never happens to us? We have accomplishments to acquire.
It's almost as if the show was playing up their naivete for effect. Unfortunately, it isn't. With purity being considered the most important quality of a young lady, girls in the Regency were kept deliberately ignorant about anything to do with sex. Unless they'd caught a glimpse of their farm animals demonstrating the circle of life, a Regency lady's only sexual education before marriage usually came from her very uncomfortable, often unhelpful mother.
It is most natural, much in the way that rain soaks a field in autumn and in spring flowers grow.
Lower-class women tended to be more knowledgeable, though. Daphne would certainly not be the first noblewoman asking her maid to fill in some missing information.
How does a woman come to be with child?
Your mother...
No, my mother told me nothing. Please. No embarrassment. Explain it to me. Precisely.
Number 2. The power of the gossip papers. Right. Bridgerton has earned more than a few Gossip Girl comparisons, but both series owe their premises to a much older legacy. Gossip papers, or scandal sheets as they were called, were hugely popular in the 18th and 19th centuries as newspaper publishing started to take off. Using thinly veiled pseudonyms for their subjects, countless column inches were spent detailing the love lives and scandals of society's wealthy and renowned.
Mary Edgecombe, now the Countess of Fulton, apparently spent the last year living in a cottage hundreds of miles away from her Earl. She is miserable. It says it all here.
Do not tell me that is yet another scandal sheet.
No, this one is different. This one lists subjects by name in full.
Bridgerton's notorious Lady Whistledown even bears some similarities to a real-life anonymous gossip writer named Mrs. Krakenthorpe, self-described as a lady who knows everything.
You do not know me, and rest assured you never shall. But be forewarned, dear reader, I certainly know you.
The appetite Regency audiences had for these scandal sheets just proves that whatever else may change, people have always been thirsty for a cup of hot tea.
How is it possible that there has not been a single compelling betrothal yet this season? Terribly unexciting.
I could tell you a delicious tidbit about our former scullery maid.
I don't care about a dish wench. I wish to be entertained, enthralled.
XOXO, indeed. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Queen Charlotte was a person of color. Inconclusive. One of Bridgerton's best features is its inclusive casting practices, starting right at the top with Queen Charlotte.
Those very things are precisely what have allowed a new day to begin to dawn in this society.
But could that choice actually be based in historical fact? Well, maybe. Portraits of the Queen do seem to suggest someone of mixed ethnicity, and there's some evidence to support the theory in contemporary descriptions of her appearance. Charlotte was also a direct descendant of a black branch of the Portuguese royal house through Margarida de Castro y Sousa. That said, the connection was a distant one, and modern scholars remain divided on the truth of her race.
Are you requiring your queen to ask again? Tell me what you know.
With more than 2 centuries separating us from Charlotte's lifetime, it seems unlikely that we'll ever have a definitive answer.
While you may be content to accept defeat, it is certainly not how I approach things.
We stan Bridgerton's queen regardless. Let us know in the comments which historical hits and misses you noticed in the latest episodes of Bridgerton.